Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical.
Marina Mabrey probably figured she could throw a cheap shot at Caitlin Clark and just walk away like nothing happened. But what she didn't see coming was Sophie Cunningham, watching closely, ready to step in without hesitation. Sophie doesn't let that slide, especially not when it's aimed at Caitlin. If Caitlin is the league's biggest star, Sophie just signed up as her personal defender. If you're rocking with GOAT CC and Spicy Sophie, hit the comments and let it be known.
Marina Mabrey, who knocked Caitlin Clark down. I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye. Cheap shots can't be happening, and it always happens. No. Caitlin is certainly going to be a storyline. She's a star. She's a dog. And the WNBA.
This wasn't your typical rough foul. This was a message, loud and direct. Take a shot at Caitlin Clark, and you'll have to answer to Sophie Cunningham. No waiting for the refs, no hoping for league action. Sophie handled it right there. Caitlin, calm as ever, didn't even react. She just responded by drilling deep threes like nothing fazed her. Sophie made sure the league understood. Play dirty, and you'll get checked immediately.
Last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom Mabrey thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. And then we'll get it. I love it.
The whole thing really kicked off when JC Sheldon, already known for pushing the line, took things to another level. She went straight at Caitlin's face, not even pretending to go for the ball. It wasn't clumsy or accidental, it was intentional, and everyone could see it. It was a cheap shot, plain and simple.
Caitlin Clark was just assaulted. Bad. This is the worst one ever, bro. She was literally poked in the eye, then pushed to the ground by Marina Mabrey.
Then Marina Mabrey made it worse. As Caitlin was still regaining her composure, Mabrey charged in and flattened her with a hit that looked more like a hockey check than a basketball play. It wasn't a defensive effort, it was deliberate contact, fueled by frustration, with Caitlin as the clear target.
Marina Mabrey basically just did what Kennedy Carter did on a whole nother level.
The cameras caught every second. Mabrey's full body shove sent Caitlin crashing to the floor like she'd just been tackled in a football game. This wasn't about tough defense, this was a direct, personal hit. But Mabrey miscalculated one thing: Sophie Cunningham wasn't about to let that slide. Sophie was locked in, ready to return the favor.
Fever and the Connecticut Sun got into it a little bit last night. Obviously, it all started with an eye gouge into a knockdown from JC Sheldon.
Caitlin is up there with the MVP, probably with big feast out in Minnesota.
I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye.
Yeah, big time.
Gouged in the eye. Marina Mabrey, who knocks her down.
Mabrey just goes and shoves her onto the ground.
Marina Mabrey, this is ridiculous.
Pat McAfee wasn't about to sugarcoat it. On his show, he broke the play down piece by piece and didn't pull any punches. That's not basketball, he said, shaking his head with a half laugh. That's a straight-up hit on the league's biggest star. Boom, right in the eyes. She might need goggles just to make it through the season. His entire panel was fired up. No one argued. No one defended it. They all agreed, this wasn't about tough competition. It was personal.
I don't like the blindside cheap shot. I don't like the poke in the eye, but I don't mind the
physicality.
Yeah, I don't mind a little bit of like competitive, how you doing, keep it moving, especially at the WNBA with how much is at stake. You know, right now they're at a pivotal time.
Yep.
There's a CBA coming up, I think. I believe there is some sort, because remember they're talking about holding out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You're
so there is some sort, I believe there is a CBA coming up. So it's like there's an opportunity now. What is the pivotal time? It's like having good basketball, good, having cheap shots, not good, probably.
You've been watching this season, you know this isn't the first time Caitlin Clark has been targeted. She's taken elbows, shoves, trips, trash talk, and hard body checks more times than any rookie should have to. And up until now, her own team pretty much just watched it happen like it was part of the job.
Mind you, JC Sheldon has been hitting Caitlin in the face all game, fouling all game. The refs don't care. The refs act like their whistles are broke. She's fouling her nonstop again, hits her in.
But this time was different. This time, Caitlin wasn't alone. She had Sophie Cunningham in her corner, and Sophie didn't show up just to play basketball. She came ready for a fight. When Sheldon and Mabrey crossed the line, Sophie didn't wait for a whistle or a review. She charged in, unleashed a roar that probably rattled courtside fans, and squared up face to face. Feet planted. Eyes locked. She dared them to test her again. This wasn't just payback, this was Sophie setting the new rules. Pat McAfee said it best, you swing at Clark, you hit the deck. Sophie isn't just a teammate, she's the muscle. Every superstar has one. Michael Jordan had Rodman. Steph Curry has Draymond. And now Caitlin Clark has Sophie.
Sophie Cunningham coming in there too.
She was barking the whole time too, underneath the hoop at that.
When she was grabbing the head.
Is that like who she is? She's like an enforcer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like she was potentially brought in like a James Johnson type role for Tyrese Halliburton. And it's like, thank God. I think this is a good play, not a bad play.
You always need some. I don't know if they still call them. You need some goons on your team for sure, especially when you have a star like that. Yeah, when you have the golden goose, just like MJ was, when you had his teammates who would kind of protect him at times when the dirtbag Detroit Pistons had those MJ rules. So this is what the Grace is gonna go through. Candace Parker kind of went through this. She came in the league, but yeah, Caitlin Clark's gonna continue to deal with it, and she's.
The second Sophie stepped in, the whole vibe flipped. The Fever bench came alive. The energy was different. They weren't just out there running plays, they were in fight mode. And Caitlin? She thrived on it. She stood taller, grinned wider, and drilled one of her signature logo threes right in Sheldon's face like she'd been waiting for that moment all night. Then she turned to the Suns bench and let them know, loud and clear, that she was done being quiet.
Drop it with no hesitation. Last night, double team, step back sideways. How you doing? Keep it moving. Then how about her to the bench afterwards with a.
You like that?
Yeah, it was you like that, but that last one right here, this is a. Get to it. Get to it. Get to it. The punch is a. I'm the one.
This is what fans have been begging for all season. Someone to finally stand up for Caitlin Clark and shut the cheap shots down. Sophie did more than step up, she drew a big, bold line and dared anyone to cross it. And now? Caitlin's got her own enforcer, a black belt, and making sure the nonsense stops. The Fever aren't just in the Commissioner's Cup hunt anymore, they're coming for the whole WNBA. And Sophie? She wasn't just acting on emotion. Every move, every hard screen, every stare was perfectly planned. She's not just guarding Caitlin, she's flipping the whole script in Indiana. Sophie's turning the Fever from quiet underdogs into a team nobody wants to mess with.
I mean, she's a needle mover, and she's got an enforcer on the team now, and a black belt having Sophie Cunningham. Don't look now, the Fever about to win WNBA title, just like they're about to win the Commissioners.
Interview 11, the moment Sophie Cunningham stepped up, everything shifted for Caitlin Clark. You could feel the difference right away. Caitlin suddenly played with a boldness and freedom we hadn't seen since her college days. That's what happens when you finally have someone ready to stand by you, no questions asked. This wasn't just another win, it was a game changer. The days of Caitlin being an easy target are officially over. From now on, anyone who tries to come for her will have to go through Sophie first, and that's not a fight most are ready for. Marina Mabrey learned that the hard way. The days of dirty shots with no response are gone, Sophie's making sure of it. She's not just backing up a teammate, she's protecting someone who's building a legendary career.
She's one. She's a needle mover.
Caitlin is the one.
No comparison to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the most must-watch basketball player in world basketball right now. There's nobody that does what Caitlin Clark does.
She's the biggest basketball star in the world.
How special and rare Caitlin Clark is.
The way Caitlin Clark handled everything thrown at her that night was legendary. She didn't beg the refs for calls, didn't get caught up in the drama, she stayed locked in and waited patiently for her moment. When it came, she cashed in. She was fading, double-teamed, completely off balance, and she still nailed a logo 3 like it was nothing. She didn't have to say a single word. Her stare at the Suns bench said it all. Still think I'm soft? The chest pound, the fire in her game, the way she stood tall, it wasn't just about the shot. It was a message. You can take swings at her, but you won't shake her.
Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
That shot wasn't just another play. It was a statement the whole arena felt. Caitlin turned to the Suns bench with that ice-cold stare that basically said, "You like that?" She sealed it with a fierce chest thump and a roar that echoed through the building, "I'm the one." This wasn't some revenge highlight, this was Caitlin proving that when the pressure is at its peak, she doesn't fold. She's the type of player you can knock down, but she always gets up, tougher than before. You can try to throw dirt on her name, but she's the kind of competitor who just grows right through it.
Fever know that they're targets.
Yeah.
Caitlin understands it at this point, and I love that she is yet to waver. It's just like we're singular focus of next game, I'm getting better.
Pat McAfee absolutely went off, breaking the moment down on his show. He wasn't just excited, he was locked in, calling Caitlin Clark that dog, but not in the casual sense. He meant the rare kind, the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry kind of competitor. And now Caitlin belongs in that conversation. What makes it even more powerful is how she's flipped the narrative this season. Last year, she took all the hits quietly, tried to stay in line. This year? She's done playing by anyone else's rules. She's not just adjusting to the WNBA, she's rewriting it.
She just texts me. She never texts me during the game.
All right. Here is Clark, splashing home a three from way downtown. Kelly escorting her back to the bench.
JC Sheldon is there with her hand in her face.
Every deep three Caitlin Clark drains is more than just 3 points, it's a statement. Every time she launches from near half court, defenses have to stretch beyond their limits, opening up clean lanes for her teammates. And when defenders finally collapse on her, she fires off passes so sharp and quick that all her teammates have to do is catch and finish. Pat McAfee nailed it. Her passing is just as dangerous as her shooting. Everyone's catching on now, fans, media, players, even the league's top decision makers. Caitlin isn't just here to play in the WNBA, she's shaping what it's becoming. She's not waiting for the spotlight, she is the spotlight. When Caitlin's on the court, everything changes. The energy, the ratings, the vibe. It all hits different when she's in the game.
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it. Look at Mabrey. She's got a scar on one side, a scratch on one side of her face, a scratch on the other side. It's not from the game today. I asked her about it. She's always in the mix. There's a lot of contact here. There's a scrape across the face. That's what Clark didn't like.
Let's be real, this isn't just hype anymore. Caitlin Clark is building something serious, something that's going to last. Every foul, every cheap shot, every critic only adds fuel to her fire. The more people try to rattle her, the more unstoppable she becomes. This back and forth, this edge, this intensity, it's exactly why the WNBA is must-watch basketball right now. And with Sophie Cunningham standing right beside her? That's a duo no one wants to challenge. Marina Mabrey and JC Sheldon thought they could knock her off her game with rough fouls and sneaky cheap shots. All they did was make her stronger. Caitlin didn't back down, she answered with cold-blooded shots that silenced arenas and sent a message across the league. And Sophie made sure that message hit with extra force.
In Indiana Fever, fans were chanting, "Sophie, Sophie." Sophie's jersey is going to sell out tonight. She's going to be in the All-Star game tonight just from this one play because she was standing on business. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle and I don't think anybody wanted that.
This isn't the same Caitlin Clark who walked into the league last season with a smile and a handshake. That version's long gone. The Caitlin we're seeing now? She's tough, she's locked in, and she knows exactly who she is. And this time, she's not carrying the fight alone, she's got Sophie Cunningham, bringing the toughness and grit to back up Caitlin's all-world skill. Here's the new reality, if you want to come after Caitlin Clark, you better bring everything you've got, because she's not just holding her ground anymore, she's taking over the league. This is what the WNBA's been waiting for. This is her time. This is her story. Caitlin Clark is changing the game on her terms. If you're riding with Caitlin and Spicy Sophie, drop Go CC and Spicy Sophie in the comments, hit that like button. Subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is only the beginning.